What is going on, guys? It is your old pal Zero here, back again with another review for you guys. However, this review is actually going to be a little bit different because it's actually not an album review, it's a movie review. That's right, guys, I said in the past I was going to start doing movie reviews, and I never got around to doing it, but I finally am now, and I hope you guys are just as excited as I am. For my first ever movie review on this channel, I'm going to be talking about the sequel to the 2017 Netflix original comedy horror film, The Babysitter, called The Babysitter Killer Queen, which was actually just released 2 days ago on Netflix. The Babysitter Killer Queen takes place exactly 2 years after the events of the first film, so we're bound to see our main characters from the first film all grown up and in high school. And that's exactly what we see. Judah Lewis returns as a now 17-year-old Cole, who is forced by his parents to take these crazy meds because they, along with everybody else, don't believe him about the events from 2 years ago, when his hot babysitter and her blood cult tried to kill him. Also returning 2 years later is Emily Alyn Lind as a now 17-year-old Melanie, Cole's best friend and obvious crush, who is the only person that believes him about the events from 2 years ago. Along with them, we see some old familiar faces and are introduced to new ones, most notably edgy chick Phoebe, my personal favorite character by the way, who is played by Jenna Ortega of the Netflix psychological thriller TV series You. However, the main question of the day is, how much does The Babysitter Killer Queen surpass its predecessor in terms of what it was always known for? Its immense amount of pop culture references, its nasty bouts of blood and gore, and most of all, its quality. Oh, and also, before I start this review, guys, I just want to give you guys a quick disclaimer. This review is going to have spoilers in it, so before you watch this review, I recommend watching the movie on Netflix first, and trust me, it's going to be worth it. As someone who actually loved the first film and considers it one of his favorite horror movies of all time, I actually enjoyed Killer Queen a lot more for a lot of different reasons. First things first, whereas the film had the most goriest bits either as quick camera cuts or just completely off screen, Killer Queen is incredibly in your face with the blood and gore. Now, it admittedly does look a little Final Destination 4-y due to the overuse of the CGI, but it's still so enjoyable and graphic nonetheless. It also comes in much bigger waves than in the first movie too. Whereas in the first film, we only see some of the nastiest gore once every half an hour or so, Killer Queen completely dials it up at least 5 notches and gives us gore hounds all we were looking for, which is nasty, bloody gore. If you want an idea of just how gory it is, go ahead and watch the movie for yourself on Netflix. If you're a gore hound just like I am, you won't be disappointed at all. The kills also come in much bigger waves too, which is a huge bonus, so we're seeing the gore a lot more frequently, even if it is a little bit cartoony. The film's twist and unpredictability is another thing I have to talk about. In the first film, we all kind of knew that B was going to turn out as the crazy psychopath, because who else would it be besides her? She's literally introduced as the babysitter when the movie starts, and the movie is called The Babysitter, so obviously the antagonist is the babysitter. However, in Killer Queen, we're left wondering who the crazy psychocultist could be this time, as B is dead, and we're introduced to a lot more characters as we get through the beginning of the movie. So because of that, the movie wants us to think that the crazy killer is one of the new characters, and we end up being really surprised when it's revealed to be Melanie. At least I was surprised. The one Cole had been best friends with since before the events of the first film. Not only that, but all of the old characters from the first movie are brought back too, which to be fair, we should have expected that, but it was also a bit shocking and awesome to see them again. Another thing we didn't see a lot of in the first movie that we see in this one is character development. In the first movie, B and Cole are automatically established as being best friends and basically family, based on the way they talk to each other and all of the things they do together, which show throughout the movie. However, in this movie, Cole and Phoebe go through a huge bout of character development. Phoebe especially, she basically goes from being rude to him and having the mindset that she's trapped on an island with a weird dumb nerd, to actually getting to know him and forming a relationship with him. This also helps her character development a lot too, as in the beginning of the movie, she was incredibly antisocial and never really talked to anybody. Cole became the first person she broke out of her shell to, which is another huge example of character development. And after she did, you could tell she started to realize that he's not like everybody else. She can trust him, and he won't leave after everything she tells him. The relationship between Cole and Phoebe is amazing, and it's easily my favorite aspect of the movie. And it's something I hope we get to see a lot more of if a third movie is ever released. This movie definitely has much stronger character development than the first one, which is one of the reasons I like it more than the first. The comedy in this movie is so much more enjoyable and raw than in the first too. In the first movie, the comedy was basically just based on pop culture references and funny sounds, but in Killer Queen, the jokes and comedy scenes and funny lines actually stem from the characters and the things they say and do. It gives you another chance to try and love these characters if you didn't love them in the first movie, which I'm sure most of you didn't. Those first characters. However, as many pros as I did find with this movie, I also did find a few cons. I absolutely hated the side characters in this movie. By that, I mean Melanie's friends. They're such stereotypical high school douchebags that you can't even try to like them at all. These guys are literally worse than the characters in Freddy vs. Jason, and that's saying something. Between the guy who looks like Ned in the MCU Spider-Man films and the stereotypical high school dickhead that probably takes the word high school a little too literal, high school by the way, they're just both so annoying and unlikable. I was pretty excited when we never had to see them again. I just wish they had ended up on the kill count. Or did they? I don't know, they're so forgettable and boring. In my opinion, the Babysitter title is a bit outdated at this point. It should have just been called Killer Queen. The reason why is because of how drastically different this movie's plot is from the first one, as Cole doesn't have a babysitter in this movie. He's just a hormonal teenage boy with a crush on his psychotic best friend. We only get to see the OG babysitter for 5 minutes and the most emotional scene in the whole movie, so we're just left more sad and emotional when she leaves again. But yeah, man, besides those two cons, I absolutely love this movie. Even a little bit more than I love the first one, if I'm being honest. To sum up my first film review on this channel, I'm giving The Babysitter Killer Queen a 9 out of 10. Maybe a light 9.5, whereas I give the first one a 7.5, and maybe a light 8. I really hope you guys enjoyed my first movie review on this channel. If you guys want me to do more movie reviews, let me know in the comments down below. Like this video if you liked my movie review, subscribe if you're new. And until my next review or whatever I end up uploading, my name is Zero, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.